Now on KENS 5 Saturday morning, fire crews spend 3 hours battling a house fire. How the weather played a major factor as they tried to save the house. Plus, the search for a killer continues. We're talking with the family of a man who was hit and killed by a drunk driver 5 years ago. And be aware, the trend the FBI is warning you about as they try to track down scammers. But first, we are taking a live look outside on a beautiful Saturday morning, clear blue skies across the city, a different scene compared to last night. Our KENS 5 team and our viewers had eyes all around the city as a hailstorm moved into town. First up, you can see the storm approaching in this time-lapse video on the far west side off Galm and Culebra. And once the storm got here, folks reported hail ranging in size. This was at an apartment complex on the north side. But other parts of South Texas saw much bigger hail. These photos were sent in from Pipe Creek, Texas, right outside of Bandera. And you can see they are bigger than a quarter. And even as the storm was approaching, Fiesta kept on going. You can see the storm clouds in the background as people continued riding those rides at Fiesta Carnival. San Antonio police did clear people out of there once the rain started along with that hail, but people were back in the gates less than an hour later. And only 2 days left of Fiesta this morning and already looking at a pretty Saturday morning. Maggie, what can we expect?
Yes, absolutely. Well, Vanessa, the party never stops for San Antonians. That's for sure. It doesn't stop for us either on KENS 5 Saturday mornings. Today is going to be absolutely gorgeous. We get another repeat of sunshine tomorrow. Today, the only thing we do need to note is that it's going to be quite breezy, so turning dry and cool. That front yesterday has pushed well past us, and I want to give you a live look outside right now. Hey, weekend, how are you guys doing? Well, let's make it a good one because check out our skies, just baby blue, lots of sunshine, actually near total sunshine all day today. Dew point really low, picking up that northwesterly wind at 10 miles per hour. Now across the region, not so bad right now, but we're going to start to pick up those wind speeds as the pressure gradient continues to tighten throughout our morning. So an hour by hour breakdown of your day coming just ahead. But for now, we'll take things back to Vanessa.
All right, Maggie, thank you. And if you are seeing any hail damage and need to make temporary fixes so it doesn't get any worse, experts say you better get moving now. First up, make sure you take pictures of the damage, then keep your receipts for your insurance company and be sure to file it right away.
If you do sustain damage or you think you've sustained damage, go ahead and file a claim. One thing to keep in mind, should it be a pretty extensive event for our area, is the insurance companies are going to be inundated with phone calls. So if you can file your claim with your company using their mobile app or online, I would do so and do it as quickly as possible.
Experts also say there's a lot of fraud scams that come around after the storm, so be sure to check with the Better Business Bureau if it sounds too good to be true. And of course, check on your neighbors. And while the storm came and went, strong winds stayed behind and made it hard for fire crews to put out a fire. This all happened new this morning. This house was destroyed in a fire that was reported just before 11:45 last night. Fire crews rushed to the house off Woodlawn Avenue just north of downtown to put out those flames. They spent more than 3 hours trying to get the fire under control because of the winds. A person was inside the house but managed to escape. And it's not clear yet what caused the fire. 5 years ago, 61-year-old Robert Ramirez left his house on the northwest side to pick up his grandson from work, but he never made it.
The day that we found out that my dad was not coming back completely turned our world upside down.
Police later confirmed Ramirez was hit and killed by a drunk driver, and that driver remains on the run tonight. Now police are urging anyone who recognizes him to do the right thing and turn him in. KENS 5 Alicia Nieves spoke with the family, and she has their message as they plead for someone to come forward.
My kids, they cry for their grandpa all the time. In the very beginning, like my daughter goes, I wish I could go to heaven to see grandma and grandpa.
Saturday, April 28th, 2018. As 61-year-old Robert Ramirez crossed the intersection of Iowa and Hackberry on the east side, he was hit by a gray Dodge Charger. Police say 28-year-old Jaime Ibarra Cruz was behind the wheel. Investigators say the Charger was going so fast, it caused Ramirez's truck to roll over. He died on scene.
So having to wake up due to having detectives at your door letting you know that your loved one didn't make it, that's the worst feeling ever. And I pray nobody ever has to go through that.
Jamie Garcia is in tears, knowing her father lost his life doing something he loved, caring for his family.
His whole life was around his family and work. He was loved by many.
Ramirez had a gift of making people laugh. He was always checking on everyone, especially his wife, Terry.
My mom, she even passed away 2 years after my dad. And she never got justice for my dad.
Now, Jamie speaks to her parents at their grave. She says she will never give up in her pursuit for justice. The imprint left on her heart from her father's death is something she carries with her every day.
I'm scared. My 17-year-old, he's already going to start driving, and I'm scared for him to drive. I don't even want him to drive.
Alisa Nieves, KENS 5.
Jaime Cruz faces multiple charges, including intoxication manslaughter. Now, if you have any information on this case, call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. And if your tip leads to an arrest, you could get up to $5,000. And it's 8:06 on your Saturday. Still ahead for us this morning, scam artists targeting families in a new way. What they're doing to convince people someone in the family has been kidnapped.